Welcome back to the channel BBC Coin, diving deep into one of the most mysterious and misunderstood coins in American history, the 1979 Liberty 1-cent coin, especially the versions people believe have no mint mark or rare features that could turn them into hidden treasures. Before you ignore that old coin jar sitting in your home, watch this carefully. Because what looks ordinary might actually be extraordinary. Let's begin. The 1979 penny is part of the famous Lincoln Memorial series. This design features Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. It's one of the most recognizable coins ever produced in the United States. But here's where things get interesting. In 1979, billions of pennies were minted. In fact, over 6 billion coins came from the Philadelphia Mint alone. These coins typically have no mint mark, and that's completely normal. So if you have a 1979 penny with no mint mark, it does not automatically mean it's rare. Yes, you heard that right. This is where many people get confused. A missing mint mark on a 1979 penny usually just means it was made in Philadelphia. It is not an error. It is not rare. And most of these coins are only worth their face value or just a few cents. But don't click away just yet. Because while most 1979 pennies are common, a small number of them can be incredibly valuable. And this is where the real story begins. There are certain rare variations and errors in 1979 pennies that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. One of the most valuable is the double die obverse. This error happens when the coin is struck twice slightly off alignment, causing a visible doubling effect on the letters and numbers. If you look closely at the word Liberty or the date 1979 and see clear doubling, you might be holding something special. Some of these rare coins have sold for thousands of dollars, with values reaching over $5,000 in high-grade conditions. Now imagine finding that in your spare change. Another rare variety is known as the near-date penny. This is when the date appears closer to the edge of the coin than usual. While not as valuable as double die errors, these coins can still sell for anywhere between $10 and $300 depending on condition. And then there are off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die breaks. These errors occur during the minting process and can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. Some off-center 1979 pennies have sold for $25 to $300 or more. But here's the truth that many videos won't tell you. The idea that every 1979 penny with no mint mark is worth $1,200 is simply not accurate. Most of them are extremely common. In circulated condition, they are typically worth between 1 cent and a few cents. Even in uncirculated condition, many are only worth a few dollars. So where does the $1,200 value come from? That number usually applies to very specific cases. Coins that are in near-perfect condition, graded by professional services, or those with rare mint errors can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, a high-grade 1979 penny graded MS-68 has sold for over $5,000 at auction. But finding one in that condition is extremely rare. It's like winning a small lottery. Now let's talk about the 1979 D penny. The D stands for Denver Mint, and these coins were produced in large numbers as well. Most 1979 D pennies are also worth only a few cents in circulated condition. However, high-grade examples and rare error coins from the Denver Mint can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So whether your coin has a D mint mark or no mint mark at all, the real value depends on 3 key factors: condition, rarity, and errors. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A shiny, uncirculated coin with no scratches, full original color, and sharp details is always worth more than a worn-out coin. Collectors often look for coins graded MS-65 or higher, where the coin appears almost perfect. Rarity is the second factor. Even if millions of coins were made, certain variations might exist in very small numbers, making them valuable. And finally, errors. Minting errors are the biggest jackpot when it comes to coins. Because they are accidental, they are rare by nature. And collectors love rare. So what should you do if you find a 1979 penny? First, don't clean it. Today, diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1979 Liberty 1-cent coin with no mint mark, a coin that millions of people ignore, but collectors are hunting like treasure. So before you spend that penny, watch this video till the end, because you might already have a hidden fortune. Let's start with the basics. The 1979 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Memorial Penny, features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has been part of American coinage since 1909. On the back, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing American strength, unity, and history. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these coins were minted without any mint mark, and that tiny missing detail has created massive confusion, excitement, and in rare cases, incredible value. Now you might be wondering, what does no mint mark actually mean? In simple terms, it means the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, unlike Denver coins marked with a D or San Francisco coins marked with an S. Many Philadelphia coins from that era were released without any mint mark at all. So yes, a missing mint mark is normal. But don't click away just yet, because while most of these coins are common, a few rare versions are anything but ordinary. Let's talk numbers. Over 6 billion 1979 pennies were minted in Philadelphia alone. That means the majority of these coins are extremely common. In fact, most circulated 1979 no mint mark pennies are only worth 1 cent to a few cents, basically their face value. So where does the hype come from? Why are people talking about these coins being worth hundreds, or even thousands of dollars? The answer lies in rare varieties, errors, and condition. Let's break that down. First, condition. Coins are graded on a scale from worn out to perfect mint condition. If your 1979 penny is shiny, flawless, and never circulated, what collectors call mint state, its value can rise dramatically. High-grade coins have sold for hundreds, even thousands, depending on their quality. Second, rare varieties. One of the most talked about is the near-date variety, where the date appears closer to the word liberty. These coins can sell for anywhere from $10 to several $100s depending on condition. But now we get to the real jackpot, error coins. This is where things go from ordinary to extraordinary. Error coins are mistakes made during the minting process, and collectors love mistakes because they're rare, and rarity means value. Here are some of the most valuable 1979 penny errors you should be looking for. A doubled die of verse, where the lettering appears doubled, especially on Liberty or In God We Trust. These coins can sell for hundreds, and in rare cases, over $5,000. An off-center strike, where the design is not properly aligned. These can be worth anywhere from $25 to $300 depending on how dramatic the error is. A clipped planchet, where a piece of the coin is missing. Collectors often pay premium prices for these unique shapes, and even small details like a die crack between letters, known as a BIE error, can increase value. So yes, while most 1979 pennies are common, a rare one, that's a completely different story. Now let's address the big claim. You may have seen headlines saying, "This coin is worth $1,200 or more." Is that true? Well, partially. A normal 1979 no mint mark penny is not worth $1,200. But if your coin has a rare error, a high mint condition, or a unique variety, then yes, it could reach values in the hundreds or even thousands. Some rare examples have sold for over $5,000 at auction. So the real question is, how do you know if your coin is valuable? Here's what you need to check right now. Take your coin and look closely. Check the date. Is it clearly stamped? Look at the word Liberty. Do you see doubling? Examine the edges. Is anything off-center or missing? And most importantly, check the shine and detail. Because condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. Also, don't clean your coin, ever. Cleaning can actually reduce its value instantly. Collectors want coins in their original condition, even if they look old. And if you think you've found something special, get it checked by a professional grading service. Because one small detail could turn your penny into a payday. Here's something even more fascinating. The 1979 penny is part of the last generation of mostly copper coins before the US switched to zinc-based pennies in 1982. That means these coins are not just currency, their history. A piece of a transition era. And today, coin collecting is exploding worldwide. People are searching through old jars, piggy banks, and inherited collections, hoping to find that one rare coin, that one lucky discovery. So next time you see a penny on the ground. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating coins in modern American history, the 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like just another penny. But don't be fooled. This coin comes from one of the most unusual and confusing years in U.S. coin production, a year that created rare varieties, minting mysteries, and coins that collectors are still hunting for today. Let's start with the basics. The 1982 1-cent coin features Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has been used since 1909. On the back, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a familiar image to millions. But what makes this coin special is not just its design, it's what happened behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint. In 1982, something major changed. Due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint decided to switch from using mostly copper to using zinc for pennies. This transition didn't happen overnight. Instead, both types of coins were produced in the same year. That means some 1982 pennies are made of heavy copper, while others are made of lighter zinc, and that's where the mystery begins. Now, let's talk about the no mint mark. If your 1982 penny has no mint mark, it means it was produced in Philadelphia. And in 1982, Philadelphia minted billions of pennies, more than 10 billion. In fact, so you might be thinking, how can something so common be valuable? Here's the answer. Not all 1982 no mint mark pennies are the same. There are multiple varieties, including small date and large date versions, as well as copper and zinc compositions. In total, experts recognize at least 7 different types of 1982 pennies. And among these varieties, some are far rarer than others. Now let's get to the exciting part: value. Most ordinary 1982 no mint mark pennies in circulated condition are only worth a few cents. Some may sell for 1 cent, 5 cents, or maybe $1 depending on condition. But when you move into high-grade coins that are in near-perfect condition, the value can jump significantly. In fact, some high-grade examples have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially when they are rare varieties like the small date zinc version in mint condition. And yes, there are cases where prices can start from around $1,200 or more for exceptional coins in top condition. But here's the truth you need to know. Not every 1982 no mint mark penny is worth big money. In fact, most are not. The real value depends on 3 critical factors: composition, date, style, and condition. Let's break that down. First, composition. You need to know whether your coin is made of copper or zinc. Copper coins weigh about 3.11 grams, while zinc coins weigh about 2.5 grams. This small difference in weight can mean a huge difference in value. Second, date style. There are 2 types, small date and large date. The small date version has thinner numbers and more space between them, while the large date looks bolder and more compact. Collectors pay close attention to this detail because certain combinations, like small date with specific metal types, are much rarer. Third, condition. This is where things get really interesting. Coins are graded on a scale, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. A coin that looks shiny, clean, and almost brand new can be worth significantly more than one that is scratched or worn. For example, a coin graded at MS67, which means nearly perfect, can be worth thousands of dollars depending on its variety. Now imagine this: 2 identical-looking pennies from 1982. One is worth 1 cent, the other is worth over $1,000. That's the power of coin collecting. But wait, there's more. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1993 United States 1-cent coin, a coin that looks ordinary but, under the right conditions, can become an extraordinary treasure. Let's begin. The 1993 Lincoln penny is part of one of the most iconic coin series in American history. Featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, this coin has been circulating in everyday transactions for decades. But here's where things get interesting. If your 1993 penny has no mint mark, it means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. And while that might sound rare at first, it's actually completely normal. In fact, billions of these coins were made, over 5.6 billion to be exact. So at first glance, your coin might seem like just another 1-cent piece. But don't stop there, because in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Most 1993 no-mint mark pennies found in circulation are only worth their face value, just 1 cent. However, when you step into the realm of high-grade coins that look almost brand new, with sharp details and brilliant shine, the value begins to climb. Uncirculated examples can sell for a few cents to a few dollars. But here's the real secret. When a 1993 no-mint mark penny is preserved in near-perfect condition, graded at the highest levels like MS-68 or MS-69, its value can skyrocket. In fact, one such coin sold for over $3,000 at auction. That's right. A single penny turning into thousands. So how does a coin go from 1 cent to over $1,200? It all comes down to 3 key factors. First, condition. Coins that have never been used in circulation, known as mint state coins, are extremely desirable. The shinier, cleaner, and more flawless the coin, the higher the value. Second, color. Collectors pay a premium for red pennies, coins that still retain their original copper shine. Over time, pennies darken into brown tones, reducing their value significantly. A bright red 1993 penny in pristine condition is far more valuable than a dull, worn 1. Third, and most exciting, errors and rare varieties. This is where things get really interesting. Some 1993 pennies contain small minting errors that can dramatically increase their value. One of the most famous is the close AM variety. If you look closely at the word America on the back of the coin, you'll notice the spacing between the letters A and M. On normal coins, there's a visible gap, but on rare varieties, those letters are almost touching, and collectors love these tiny differences. A 1993 penny with this close AM feature can be worth hundreds, even over $1,000 depending on condition. There are also other errors to look for. Double die errors, where the design appears slightly duplicated. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in modern U.S. history, the 1996 Lincoln Memorial Penny, including the mysterious versions with no mint mark, and the highly talked about 1996 D coins. And by the end of this video, you might just start checking every coin in your pocket. Let's begin. First, let's understand what this coin actually is. The 1996 1-cent coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, with the word Liberty proudly stamped beside him, symbolizing freedom, history, and American identity. On the back, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used on pennies for decades, making it one of the most recognizable coins in the world. But here's where things start to get interesting. Not all 1996 pennies are the same. Some have a small letter under the date, while others don't. That tiny detail can make a massive difference. Let's talk about the 1996 coin with no mint mark. If your coin doesn't have any letter under the year, it was made in Philadelphia. And here's the truth that many people don't realize. Billions of these coins were produced, over 6.6 billion to be exact, making them extremely common in circulation. So normally, a 1996 penny without a mint mark is worth just 1 cent. Yes, just 1 cent, but don't lose interest just yet, because this is where the story changes. Now imagine this: 2 identical coins. Same year, same design, but one is worth just 1 cent, and the other, over $1,000. What's the difference? Condition, rarity, and errors. Let's break it down. If your 1996 no mint mark coin is in perfect condition, what collectors call uncirculated, meaning it looks almost brand new, its value can jump significantly. In fact, high-grade versions have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions, with some reaching over $2,500 depending on condition. That's right. A single penny, worth more than a brand new smartphone. Now let's move to the 1996 D penny. The letter D stands for Denver, meaning the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. Just like the Philadelphia coins, billions of these were also produced, making them very common in everyday use. Again, most of them are only worth face value. But there's always a but in coin collecting. Some rare 1990-60 coins, especially those in near-perfect condition, have sold for astonishing prices. One of the highest quality examples ever recorded reached over $3,500 at auction. Think about that for a moment. A coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up, being worth thousands. Now let's talk about the real treasure, error coins. This is where things get truly exciting, because sometimes, during the minting process, mistakes happen, and those mistakes turn ordinary coins into extraordinary collectibles. For the 1996 penny, there are several known error types that can increase its value dramatically. One of the most famous is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice slightly off alignment, creating a noticeable doubling in the letters or numbers. Collectors love these errors, and they're willing to pay big money for them. Some of these error coins have been valued in the hundreds, even crossing the $1,000 range depending on visibility and condition. Another rare and valuable variety is the close AM error dot on the back of the coin. Look at the word America dot if the letters A and M are unusually close together. You might have something special. Coins with this feature have been known to reach values between around $1,800 to over $2,400 in the collector market. And then there are off-center strikes, die cracks, and strike-through errors, each one unique, each one telling a story of how the coin was made, each one potentially valuable. Now here's something very important. Not every shiny coin is valuable, and not every old coin is rare. The biggest factor that determines value is condition. Collectors use grading systems, from heavily worn coins to nearly perfect ones, and the difference in value between these grades can be massive. A worn 1996 penny might be worth just 1 cent, but the same coin in perfect condition could be worth hundreds, or even thousands. So how do you know if your coin is valuable? Here are a few simple things to check. Look for a mint mark under the date. Check if it's missing, or if it has AD. Examine the coin closely for any unusual features, doubling, misalignment, or strange markings. And most importantly, look at the condition. Is it shiny? Is it clean? Does it look almost untouched? If yes, you might be holding something special. Now let's talk about the big question. Is your 1996 penny worth $1,200? The honest answer is, maybe. Most are not, but some absolutely are. Coins with rare errors, or those in exceptional condition, have been known to cross that price range, and even go beyond it. In fact, the value of a 1996 penny can range from just a few cents, all the way up to several $1,000s depending on these factors. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's like a treasure hunt, where the treasure is hiding in plain sight. In your pocket, in your drawer. Today, we're diving deep into the mystery, the truth, and the real value behind the 1999 Liberty 1 cent United States coin, especially the ones with no mint mark and rare features collectors are desperately searching for. So before you spend your next penny, watch this carefully, because what you're about to learn might change how you see coins forever. Let's start with the basics. The 1999 Lincoln Memorial penny is one of the most common coins ever produced in the United States. It features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, originally designed by Victor D. Brenner, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. But here's where things get interesting. There are actually different types of 1999 pennies, and not all of them are equal. Some were minted in Philadelphia, some in Denver, and some in San Francisco. Now here's the key detail most people don't understand. If your coin has no mint mark, it doesn't mean it's an error. It simply means it was made in Philadelphia. And in 1999, more than 5 billion of these no mint mark pennies were produced. That's billions. So naturally, most of these coins are only worth just 1 cent. But here's where everything changes. Collision: the secret that makes a 1999 penny valuable. Not all 1999 pennies are the same. There are rare varieties and errors that can turn a simple coin into a collector's dream. The most famous one, it's called the wide AM variety. Now look closely at the word America on the back of your coin. If the letters A and M are spaced far apart, that's called a wide AM, and that tiny detail could make your coin extremely valuable. Some of these rare 1999 pennies have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, with top quality examples reaching over $4,500 in auctions. Yes, from just 1 cent to thousands. Moneybag, can a 1999 penny really be worth $1,200? Here's the truth: a standard 1999 penny with no mint mark is not worth $1,200. In fact, most are worth only face value unless they are in extremely high condition. But if your coin has a rare wide AM variety, a major mint error, or is in near perfect mint state condition, then yes, its value can rise dramatically. Coins graded at the highest levels, like MS-68 or MS-69, can sell for hundreds of dollars, and rare era coins can go well beyond that. So when you hear claims of $1,200, they're not entirely fake, but they only apply to very specific rare coins, not the average penny. Direct hit: what do you look for in your coin? If you want to know whether your 1999 penny is valuable, here's exactly what you need to check. First, look for the mint mark. No mint mark means Philadelphia. A D means Denver. An S means San Francisco. Second, inspect the letters AM in America. Are they close together or clearly separated? That difference could mean everything. Third, check the condition. Does the coin still shine bright red, or is it dark and worn? Because in coin collecting, condition is everything. Even a rare coin can lose most of its value if it's damaged. Fire rare era coins that can be worth big money. Besides the wide AM, there are other errors that collectors love. Double die errors, off-center strikes, coins struck on the wrong metal, missing details, or unusual shapes. Some extreme errors have sold for $2,000 to $3,000 or more, especially when verified by professional grading services. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. Movie camera, watch this for visual identification. Brain, why most people miss these valuable coins. Here's the surprising part. Many valuable coins are still out there, in circulation. People spend them every day because they don't know what to look for. Even collectors admit that rare varieties like the 1999 wide AM can still be found in ordinary coins. That means your next coin could be worth far more than you think. Warning: common myths you need to avoid. Let's clear up some confusion. Myth number 1. No mint mark means rare. False. It just means Philadelphia. Myth number 2. All old coins are valuable. Also false. Age alone doesn't determine value. Myth number 3. Every 1999 penny is worth hundreds. Definitely false. Only specific rare varieties or perfect condition coins are valuable. Light bulb. Final thoughts. Should you check your coins? Absolutely. Because while most 1999 pennies are worth just 1 cent, a tiny percentage are worth hundreds or even thousands. And the only difference